welcome to the stage Mr. Felix the Bitcoiner.
Hello. You good? Baridi kama kosa. Okay, so I'll be very, very brief. We've started a little bit late. It's not a little bit, it's very late. But I'm very much excited to see all of you that came here very early. Welcome. This is Bitcoin Conference 002, as Vinay likes to call it, 2.0. I'll just give a brief intro about the core. We are building the core. The core is a Bitcoin education platform with the mission to create Bitcoin awareness through education, content creation, and community building. The Bitcoin education bit of it, we're very good at it. We are now doing, who's graduating from the core? Yes? Yeah? Code 7, right? So you can't get code 7 without code 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 6, right? That is mean we are very good with education. And there are so many other education platforms. We have 3 graduations here from the core. We have Bit Savers, and we have and then Satoshi. Well, those ones with orange are for Bit Savers. So the education bit of the core, we've done very well. We have a system that's running, we know how to evaluate and all that. And now the content creation, most of us see, for those who've been following the core, we have some of the stuff we do there on our social for our own audience, still working to find good content to create awareness Bitcoin for. And now the community bit of our mission is what we're working on, right? So we've done, when we were starting, we did our graduations on Twitter Space because we didn't have this kind of support that you have now. So we could leverage on internet, it's manageable, all right? The second graduation, we did Twitter Space. Okay, again, we couldn't afford to do a physical. The third, until the fourth one, we did a physical graduation somewhere in University of Nairobi. We had probably 30 in attendance and all that. So slowly we started building community as our third part of our mission. And now we did a few graduations and the numbers keep on going up. Probably today we'll have a total of 100 plus graduates for this cohort. Physically present will be around 50 plus. And now we can no longer do graduations for the core, right? We have other communities that are growing. How do we show inspiration? How do we tell people that Bitcoin community is growing, okay? So we can, again, just do the core graduation as the core. I thought, all right, can we have something that brings people together? The typical events or the conference, they are usually focused, organizers driven. Organizers know what they are working on. It's organizers driven. So I thought, Unconference is community driven. As you see, all of us here, part of the community, we're going to interact with you. You're the people who are supposed to tell us what do you want to hear from this kind of events, and bring again most of the Bitcoin projects together that can be available so that they can showcase their work. Building the core wasn't an easy journey. I know how it can be difficult for starting Bitcoin projects, and I feel it's very important for them to see this kind of encouragement being brought together with already existing Bitcoin projects. So that being said, the Unconference is about the audience. So we have 10 plus projects at this Bitcoin Unconference. Please, by the end of the day, we have a long day, a lot of activities will be happening. Presentations, keynotes, and also this graduation ceremony. Ensure that you don't go without knowing what a single project does, all right? So because we know Bitcoin is the new tech and opportunities are within the projects that are starting. The core started as Felix, now we have a team of 4, and the community bit of it, we have a team of 3. We are building a Bitcoin circular economy in Gidurai. You get to know what Bitcoin circular economies are. So that is all about the idea of the core and now the Bitcoin Unconference. And in future, we really want to make it big, and it should be for grassroots initiatives focused, right? We want the grassroots projects to get all the kind of opportunities they can. We can bring in great speakers and all that, all the opportunities you can find from this event, maximize use. You know, when we say Bitcoin is a network, we mean the internet of money. So the network means users. So the more the people in the space, the more the network is stable, is stronger. So if you really read the white paper, the network itself is mentioned more times than any other. Okay, so we have to really grow the community in whichever means we can, and that will be great. All right. Now that was introduction. Now we'll do a keynote. All right. I'm a Gen Z.
Gen Z power!
All right.
Gen Z power!
Yeah. Through interest checks. Okay.
Good morning. My name is Sabina, and I am one of the co-founders of Tango. And I'm so glad to be here with you guys. Congratulations to all of you new graduates. Please clap for yourself. I'm so proud of you. And you know, right now you might just see this as another certification, but it's honestly bigger than that. I know your future self, your generations to come, they're looking at you and they're so proud, even your ancestors, because in a few years, these achievements, it's like an investment, so it will pay off really well. So congratulations to all of you once again. So what's the problem? Why are we in the streets? Why are we fighting? It's because the system is broken and the system is no longer here to serve its people. Instead, it's fighting against its people. And this system is extracting instead of empowering people. This system rewards corruption over, real service to people, and this system only protects power. We are seeing, the taxes. It all began last year, the Finance Bill 2024, because of the hike in taxes and all that. And these taxes that people have been paying, or we have been paying, they're really not being used to service us or to work for us. Instead, the people in power, they're using these taxes to fight us. Like, we've been going to the streets, we are being tear gassed, they're using live bullets on unarmed protesters, etc. People have died, they've lost their lives, and it's just sad. So we are seeing, like I've said, the system is not working for the people, but it's working against its people. And on top of all these, next slide, on top of all these, the chaos, the murders, the bloodshed, we are dealing with the high cost of living. There's a hike in food prices, the fuel prices, like maisha imepanda kila kitu, from rent to the fuel, everything. We're seeing like young people giving up on their dreams. It's so hard right now for us as young people to actually build ourselves, to save for our future. And this is why you're seeing most young people, they're not even able to start a family, or like it's something that's scaring us. I have so many friends who are saying, I don't want to be a mom, I don't want kids. And it's because of the system. That's a symptom of a failing system, because they're scared, how am I going to sustain my family? We still have so many young people living with their parents because they can't afford to pay rent. There are no jobs, there are nothing. People work so hard in school, people work so hard out here, but we are still struggling. And why is this? It's because the system is broken. Next slide. So what's the engine, or like what is causing this system to fail? It all comes down to fiat money. And I know all of us here know what fiat money is, but for the sake of those who don't know, fiat money is basically the money that we use every day. Not me, I use Bitcoin. But so like the Kenyan shillings, the euro, the dollar, all of that, that's fiat money, and there's no one better than the other. Next slide. So yeah, the thing about fiat money is it's controlled by the state, so it's centralized. And the state can print as much money as they want, they can borrow as much as they want, but guess who pays for it? It's us as citizens, and we are the ones who are feeling the pain or the result of like the endless money printing, the borrowing and all that. And what happens when a government prints its money endlessly? What happens? Thank you. Yes, inflation. And I feel like this is it's the biggest problem that we have right now with our money. Well, the biggest problem is that it's controlled. It has a central authority controlling it, but that leads to inflation. And inflation affects us more than people really know or pay attention, because inflation brings a lot of bad things in the economy, in our life, everything. So when the government prints more money, we say it causes inflation. And this inflation means that the value of your money, it's like, it's being watered down. It's like, I like to give the example of juice cola. Growing up, this was actually juice cola, right? And the powder, so juice cola and calico powder, you put it in a glass and then you dilute it with water. And as kids, we loved putting like magic kidogo so that at least it's like super, super sweet. But when you add like a lot of water to it, see, it dilutes that sweetness and it does not taste anymore, right? So that is inflation. It's like when a government like keeps pouring more money into the economy, and so it dilutes the value of the money that you already have. And this is why we are seeing our parents, they like saying, hey, maisha imekuwa ngumu. Not even our parents, not as easy. Everyone is saying like maisha imekuwa ngumu, vitu zimekuwa expensive, I'm saving money, I'm working so hard, but somehow I'm still struggling. I can't afford that vacation that I've been saving for, I can't afford the car that I've been saving for, or the apartment, etc, etc. This is because money is losing value every ticking second. It's not because life is getting expensive. And with Tando and Bitcoin, you get freedom money, freedom from fees, freedom from inflation, freedom of speech, freedom of choice, freedom of privacy. So it's up to you now. Do you want to stay in the old system that does not respect you, that steals from you, that frustrates you, or do you want this new system where you have freedom to just be? Next. So yeah, I think that's it. Break free from fiat by using Bitcoin as a medium of freedom. Next slide. Yes, this is don't wait for permission. Stop waiting for things to get better and start building something better. And I feel like that's something we as young people, this generation, I think we've learned that we feel like they're not coming to save us and the system is not changing, it's broken beyond repair. So the best way for us to protest, it's from action. It's by starting to build something better for ourselves, build around the failed system, and just build a whole new system for ourselves. And I think that's it, because freedom is here, choice is here, dignity is here, so it's up to you to make a choice. And I think that's it for me. Next. Yeah, that's it. You can scan this QR code. I think it's my socials. And then there's my email there, and we can talk more. If you have a question about Tando, about Bitcoin, I'll be here throughout the day. Let's chat. And finally, my favorite slide, the last one. Yes, vote Bitcoin. That's it.
What I've just told you, thank you.
Hi everyone. Slide. As we wait for the slide up. Yeah, thank you for that introduction. Thank you so much. You've done absolute justice.
Thanks.
Yeah. So if they have a story, I'm waiting for the slides. But anyway, yeah, so this is one good story, and I hope you will get inspired. See, some slides are still loading, but anyway. So before I met Wanjiko, she wasn't looking for Bitcoin. She was not looking for me either, so this is not a love story. But she was looking for freedom, yeah. So next slide. This is Wanjiko. She had a grassroots initiative, pardon the technical glitches. So she had a grassroots initiative back in Nyeri. So I'm just describing Wanjiko. So I'm explaining the next slide. She had a grassroots initiative back in Nyeri where she wanted to empower the local women back in her village. So that is Wanjiko. She was a very passionate woman, a very smart woman, and resilient above all. So she wanted to, sorry about that. Second slide. So she majorly wanted to empower the women back in her local village to understand their rights, most importantly, to stand up and build a better future for themselves. Not like that. And build a better future for themselves. But yeah, so majorly that's Wanjiko and what she was doing. She still had dreams. She had very big dreams. One of her dreams was to take these classes across other counties as well, to Nanyuki, even Siaya, but just to spread across other counties. So, and even across borders. But there was one challenge because these dreams could not pay for logistics. So she somehow needed fuel, and in Wanjiko's case, she needed funding, financial support, that is. So I remember the late nights when she used to take me through her drafts of her proposals. These are just late nights fueled by kahawa and just some hope, some little bit of hope. And yeah, so she was waiting, explaining to different people why she needs the funding. So proposal after proposal, previous slide, previous. Next slide. So yeah, anyway. So proposal after proposal, she used to, so weeks would go by between email replies, and eventually when the money arrived, the banks would hold the money for her. And it was a whole lot of, so next slide, it was a whole hectic time here. So the banks would hold her money that she received from different donors, and would now give some sort of numerous excuses like, we've detected some suspicious activity, you have to do compliance checks, and this whole excuses of bank freezing your accounts. And alongside that, there was also the currency conversions that were eating up her budget. And then, yeah, so that was majorly it. And then one day she came to me and said to me that, you know what, I feel like I'm spending more time chasing funding than actually teaching. And I feel like I'm always begging and not building, which is her purpose. So you find that for Wanjiko to hold a local workshop in her localized village, she had to get clearance from people
from systems that she did not control, and to get to being reviewed by people she'd never even meet. And so, next slide. To say that Bitcoin is not just about price going up, it's about people like Wanjiku and everyone else going up. It's about resistance, it's about time, it's about freedom, and that's basically why I built Bitika. So, to us, Bitcoiners in the room, I would like to urge us to let's accommodate such people, let's build for them, let's build tools that work for them, and let's just give them Bitcoin. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Fidel. Let's stay on stage. Let's stay on stage 1 minute. Go make sure it's your side. If it's not your side, go exchange from outside. Thank you for participating. I appreciate you. You too, bitch. Are you friends? Oh, you're not friends? You're good neighbors. Okay, cousins. Good job, good job. Are you done? Have you got your first Bitcoin? Please appreciate him. Come to your front. Come to the front and give you this. Appreciate him for buying his first Bitcoin. The next up is Tando. You probably will buy me something at the end of today. Congratulations, you boss. Good job. Thank you so much. So it is possible. So make sure you're participating. If you, I'm about to tell you to leave. You're leaving. Or we have not appreciated you. Please appreciate Fidel as he goes off stage. Thank you so much, Fidel. This is a product that we.
Yes, it should be. It should be because we are fighting poverty. We are fighting stagnation. We are fighting poverty. We are fighting people freezing our money. So, thank you. So, today, do I really need to go back to my system? Maybe someone that has not met me. I'm Rosaline, and I'm the founder of Biashara. How Biashara came to be is, as a business person, I realized that I needed something. I needed a place to get SaaS from. And I have to get it from my customers. And I also need a place to spend SaaS. Yani, me having Bitcoin alone does not help me at all. I need a circle to use this Bitcoin, to receive and to spend. So I wanted to orange peel my customers and orange peel my suppliers so I can live off fiat completely. So Biashara was born. Since then, I have learned a lot. I have gained even people that I never traded with. I have changed suppliers. I have changed customers. I have gained all of you as my customers simply because you are using Bitcoin. So Bitcoin has been so grateful for me. So today, I want us to look at how Bitcoin is really a tool to empower businesses, to power up businesses. Can we go on? Finally? This woman. Who knows this woman? Anyone? Whoever knows this woman, 100 cards. Whoever knows this woman, 100 cards. Anyone? No. Next. No, I know what you want to do. No, we are not using ChatGPT today. So either you know or you don't. Yeah. So her name is Roya Mahbub. She's from Afghanistan. And she's an entrepreneur. Good. Let's go next. So what she did, she founded a company, a Citadel software company, whereby she was creating jobs for newly graduated students, and she would give them jobs from wherever she was living. And those people, the group of people she was dealing with was especially women. And we all know what happens to women in those countries. Women are not empowered. They are not even allowed to have bank accounts. So, during that time, she realized she fought a lot of bank attacks, government attacks, because of the group of people that she's working with. Good. She founded a digital citizen fund, which is a non-profit that aims to increase women's technological literacy and provide employment and educational opportunities, which was good. The only thing was, the women she's dealing with are not allowed to have bank accounts. Next slide. So, like I said, her business was regularly targeted by banks and local authorities. Her bank accounts were frozen, her payments delayed or even blocked, and her ability to transact and pay her employees was severely compromised until she discovered Bitcoin. What did Bitcoin do to her? Next. Bitcoin allowed her to pass the obstacles that were laid for her. With Bitcoin, now her business was stable. With Bitcoin, she can actually pay the women she's dealing with. With Bitcoin, she can send the payments direct to them without even the government knowing that she's doing this. She gave them the power in their hands without needing the authorities, without needing anyone to approve these transactions. She empowered a whole community. Next. She sustained her operation as a business person, so she also made money while empowering. How powerful is that? By bypassing traditional banking system, her company maintained its operation, preserving jobs and empowering women in a region hostile to these women. Are we getting that? How powerful is that? So her business remained. She still made money, right? She empowered these women. Her business survived. How many of our business, if attacked today, will survive that? How many? How many? None will do, right? There's one. Okay, tell me, how will your business survive that? Start an attack. Okay, next. So, Royal's employees, many of whom were unable to open their own bank accounts due to cultural and legal barriers, they gained financial independence by receiving salaries in Bitcoin accessible directly to their phones. Next. She also got something we call global exposure. She was recognized globally just because of Bitcoin. Bitcoin gave her that. I keep saying, Bitcoin gives you things that you don't know you could have. I never thought I could stand in front of people and talk to people. You can see I'm shaking. I'm shaking. I never knew I could do this, but Bitcoin has given me a stage. Bitcoin is magical. Bitcoin has everything you need as an individual. It will give you even the power to empower others. As a small business owner, I never knew I could speak to people about business, about how they could be saving money with Bitcoin. But here I am. Next. Royal story exemplifies why Bitcoin isn't just a currency, but a tool for freedom, economic empowerment, and resilience in crisis. That is just one data scenario. Next. And it goes beyond that too. Scenario 1. Imagine running a small shop in Zimbabwe. A country that went through inflation, that is in 2024 according to Statica, of 561%. In January, the bread was 50 Kenyan shillings, that is, if we were to say that, and in December, the bread was 350. That is good. So have this one for yourself, have this one for your mom. It's only 3,333 stars for one, and it is communicating. So thank you so very much. Have a good day.
Thank you so much. Can I get this camera? I don't understand. Ask and it shall be given as we do. Thank you. Well, first I'm shocked. I'm shocked she has finished before time. I'm very. You've got me a bit disoriented, Rosalie. Thank you for the presentation. That was a really good presentation. I think I've had Gen Z's talk, then I've had a non-Gen Z talk, and if both generations are very passionate about Bitcoin,
So you get to introduce yourself, tell people who you are, what you're doing, they will just get off. Jason.
Hi everyone, my name is Jason, and as I mentioned, co-founder of Tando, so I help you spend your Bitcoin anywhere in Kenya.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Ms. Akini. I am the COO serving at Decentrix Africa.
Great.
My name is Charles Kelly. Everybody in the space calls me CJ the Smart Guy. I'm a certified public accountant, and I act as a digital nomad, educating the world on Bitcoin.
Hey everyone.
Hi.
Yes, my name is Rufus Kamau. I work as a market analyst with an FX company called FX Pesa. So I'm also a Bitcoin educator, mostly blogging, writing about it, talking about Bitcoin. Thank you.
Okay, great. So I'm so excited to talk about Bitcoin and economics, you know. So when we talk about economics, that is now the backbone of our country, right? But something that we must know before we jump into economics, I need you all to understand what economics is, right? Economics is just about how do we get to position the scarce resources that we have to produce more of what we need, right? But then with that, we must agree on one thing, that money is debt, right? Right? And then debt is also an asset, so it depends with who issues it, right? So the bank gives you a debt, right? When I deposit my money to the bank, they call it a deposit. I give them my money, they call it a deposit. When they give it to me, they're gonna call it a loan. Did you understand that? So we are talking about the system is wrong, the system is this and this, but who controls the system? What we know is the federal, right? The central bank. So I will start with you over here. So when we look at the history of money, fiat currency was started before it was rated against gold, right? But then Nixon cut it off, so it was able to be printed out of thin air. So when we look at all these things, where are we going as a country or as a nation with the money that has nothing against it? Because if you can't measure something against something, then absolutely the value, we can't rate it. Yeah.
Well, I would say that the direction we are taking, especially for us Kenya, is not really looking good. I tend to think of money as a technology, and technology evolves over time. So if you think about the way we communicate, back in the day when I was very young, and you wanted to communicate with a person from another community, we would mostly, let's say, go to a post office, send a letter, there was fax. This level of tech has evolved up to this day where you can communicate instantly via, let's say, a text message, a video call, and so on. So technology tends to advance over time. However, what has been happening with money is that it hasn't been advancing. So the same way we were able to, let's say, send money from one location to another, the way you can send money from one place to another has really improved. For instance, with M-Pesa, you can make instant payments, not just in Kenya, but across borders. With Tando, it facilitates you to spend your Bitcoin at any M-Pesa location. So the way you are able to move this money from one point to another, that has advanced. But money in and of itself has not. So when I think about money, I think about energy. So whenever you, let's say, earn money, you must have provided some form of value, right? Anyone who gets money out of nothing? Okay, so you put in the work, right? So either you are doing a job, you're providing a service, good, a product, you're providing a resource. So that is value that you create, and then when you get paid in a form of currency or money, and think of that as a container. Okay? So when you look at an economy, in this case at a wider scale, think of a community. Let's say all of us live in an island or a village, right? So if we decided to work together, let's say when things are bad, we share resources, and when these are good, we also share. So we contribute to one pool. So every time we wake up very early as a village, everyone does their job, and then we put the money in a common container, okay? So if this container keeps on filling up over and over, and at some point, let's say after a few years, we have a very big container with a lot of value. Let's call this honey, okay? At some point, there will be some weird individuals, unscrupulous. They will be waking up at night, then they go steal from the honey, right? And these can be leaders, can be petty thieves, can be anyone. If they find an opportunity, they will steal from that, okay? So if you think about Kenya and our currency, it's basically the same thing. So when we pay taxes, we pay all these levies, we contribute to a common pool of money called government, where whenever we have a challenge, let's say in security, we spend some money from that fund, we push it to security, we push it to healthcare, to education, which is supposed to serve the whole country, right? But eventually, every now and then, some people find a way of staying from that, okay? So what Bitcoin represents, in my perspective, as a change to the prevailing problem, is that from now going forward, you're able to buy a smaller pot for yourself or for your family, where you don't put all your contributions or your work in the common pool. You're able to put some aside for yourself that cannot be stolen by the guys running the army. Does that make sense? Thank you.
Yeah. So if this will come, because it looks nice, having the family energy around, Something that you guys must know is that when you look at the biggest spenders, in our country, Kenya, right? Who are the biggest spenders? Are the women, right? So, but then we started with Web 1, Web 2, and now we're in Web 3, and I did something amazing in Web 3, right? So, what do you see the take of Kenyan or young people getting in front? So, right now we are in Web 3, where you can write, edit, and own, right? Which brings a couple of ownership, the Bitcoin stuff, right? So, how do you see that bringing us value as Kenyan youths, generation, and as well bringing that feminine energy into the ecosystem?
Okay, I love the fact that you touched on Web 1, Web 2, Web 3. So one of the biggest goals of Web3 was to bring back a state ownership and mainly data ownership back to the people. So I can tie that to Bitcoin. Bitcoin also came to solve an issue of trust. As human beings, we have a very big trust issue in terms of relationships, money-wise. Trust has always been a common issue. So assuming you already have autonomy over your own money through technology and a form of money like Bitcoin, then to a certain extent that also solves that trust problem. So to a certain extent, the youth, the people, anybody who has decided they wanted to live on the Bitcoin standard, assuming they are using it as a means of exchange on a day-to-day basis or as a store of value, then to a certain extent they have restored trust. In that I have my own money, I have my own Bitcoin. If I'm going out there and buying ice cream using Tandem, then I don't really necessarily have to question if maybe I will move from my bank to the merchant. So that trust issue has already been solved. And then I already have ownership over my own money. We have wallets, different type of wallets, and that type of wallets where you self-custody. Again, trust. If I have full ownership and autonomy over my own money, then to a certain extent, I really don't have any other person I can blame, assuming anything goes wrong with the money that I hold, which is Bitcoin. The same way, if you have gone through any Bitcoin class, they tell you not your keys, not your coins. So exactly, the fact that I already own my own keys, I have full ownership over them, then I am to a certain extent responsible over my own funds. So do I trust myself to custody my own money? Oh yeah. So yes, you're getting your ownership, and to a certain extent, we are solving that trust problem.
So the biggest thing is trust, right? Which it's kind of sounds good, because the thing that happens, which I need as young people to know, the problem is not the government, right? But there is where problems comes in, where you got the system, right? So where the problem comes from the bank, right? In order for government to run, right now in the situation we are, what we need is more debt to run the country. And remember, we should start debt. They deposit that to the government, but instead they do what? They call it debt, right? So when we call it, so to me, there is an intermediary between us and the government, right? So when you come about the Bitcoin, here now there is no intermediary. It's more of a peer-to-peer network, right? So, and as well that will come to you, Jason. If it's more of a peer-to-peer network, we should believe that will help us, right? But then it is seen in more than, let's say 2032, it is believed that 99% of Bitcoin will be mined, right? But then how do you see the future of this peer-to-peer network leveraging our economy?
Yeah, over time, the peer-to-peer network grows, right? All these educational efforts, like the core, like Satoshi 53, et cetera, as more people learn about Bitcoin, they will naturally choose the better money over the worse money. And so as you do that, you add more humans, peers, to the network. And so the network grows, poly, over time, until eventually the old system fades away and the new system has completely replaced it. So it's very fascinating to be living in this time where we're kind of operating on two parallel systems. You've got the old system, the fiat system, that's still in place that we all grew up with, and now we're slowly, person by person, transitioning over to a new and better system that is more fair for everyone. And so I think over time what we'll see, talking about the government, is the government will shrink naturally over time, which will mean there'll be more money into our own pockets because there'll be less taxes to fund their system. And we will take more ownership as individuals over our destiny rather than looking to someone up on a pedestal and say, hey, please save us, please solve all these problems. We're going to solve the problems for ourselves instead of looking to someone else to solve them for us.
Oh, well, great. So I believe justice will come to you. So let us imagine, so we have this fiat currency or our money. Let's imagine it's more of a balloon, but then it is tied on something against it, right? But then an intermediary comes, which is a scissor, right? So when it cuts off, to mean that the fiat currency has nothing against it, to mean they can get to print it more and more, because there is no standard in between, which now brings the issue of inflation, right? And when we look at what the inflation has done so far, right now we have a global deficit of around, I think, 24 trillion, which means each and every person of us has got to play that role, in which each and every person in the world has got that debt to pay of around 3,500, something of that sort. So how does that play in our economy? Like, what is the future? If already we have the debt, then we are trying to opt out in the system through Bitcoin, but then it is the same system we have. So how is that going to help us?
Yeah, so I'm a CPA based in America, and a lot of people believe that the US dollar is the most strongest currency in the world. But being in America, we see the prices go up just like everywhere else. Since COVID, our prices have gone up 20% minimum for everything. And that was just 5 years ago. And so when we look at what fiat currency is it's stored energy and time. You work your behind off, you spend time to earn the money, and then they go ahead and print it out, raise prices, and all of a sudden you can't buy what you could have bought before. So they're literally just robbing you blind. They're not taking the numeric value away from you, but they're taking away the purchasing power from you. And so I know Kenya itself, they have US dollars in the Federal Reserve. And when I see that, I'm like, America's robbing you right now. Not only are they robbing the citizens of America, but they're robbing entire countries. Any country who's holding US dollars, they're robbing them as well. And I know some countries are like, well, it's better than getting robbed in our own currency because, you have places like Sierra Leone where their inflation is way higher. But that's where scarcity comes in. And so owning assets, land, you'll never be able to create new land unless you go to Mars, which they're trying. But like land, that's an asset because it's a limited amount. Gold is considered an asset because it's a limited amount, but we don't know how much gold is in the world. When they find gold deposits, all of a sudden now, that's inflation of gold. What makes Bitcoin special is only 21 million Bitcoins ever be created. So now I'm on the other side, and I'm holding assets, and prices for things go up. I'm not as mad anymore because it's like, oh, my purchasing power is increasing without me doing any work. You had mentioned before, who gets money without doing anything? People who own assets. And now you have an asset that anybody can get into without barrier to entry because you may not have a permit for land, you may not be able to have a storage, case for gold, but Bitcoin is just a password. Do you know your 64 characters? Do you know your seed phrase? You don't actually need hardly anything to storage your value. So at this point, I think that they're going to crash the US dollar. I believe they're about to keep printing out more and more money because they realize it's not sustainable. And I believe anybody who's holding on to US dollars is going to wind up getting hurt. So I'm holding Bitcoin.
Okay, good. So one of the things that we need to focus on is the asset. And when I say asset, we have the digital asset, which is Bitcoin, right? But then I just realized that for us to bring more things into our own, it becomes so difficult in a way. To build new infrastructure becomes a problem than maybe buying a house as an asset, like setting up a factory, So you find a couple of people have got these offshore accounts, right? Which I think with Bitcoin there is something different we are doing with Biashara. To me, there is something we are building in us, right? After the Kibera circular economy, there is something that we are doing in our own. Instead of taking that money to the other side, because when you see a couple of these big guys who runs the Feds, a couple of that stuff, they tend to put more of their assets or money in the short term. So how is that gonna make sure that it's sabotaging our economy, and how can we get around it?
Thank you for the question. So, if you look at any country, virtually any country in the world, okay, as long as they have a central bank, there is the government robbing them by basically printing more currency, which basically devalues the existing currency. Okay? So think about it this way. If a government, let's say the Kenyan government prints 10 billion shillings today, where does that value come from? If they just print papers and they put them up in the room and they say this is 1 billion shillings, where do those papers get value from? So that value comes from what we call theft. Okay? Where every other Kenyan shilling in existence loses a little bit of value that is added to make this paper and make more value. Okay? So, from what we are experiencing here in Kenya, seeing this inflation happening over and over again, we realize that prices are just rising and rising and rising, and people try to save value. Okay? So if you're storing water in a container, and this container is leaking, you will look for a better container that is not leaking. Okay? So if you look at the US, traditionally, a majority of the people have been putting their money in their stock markets. So they buy shares of Amazon, Google, Facebook, Apple, and so on. And this way, when they are planning for retirement, as long as those companies are expanding globally, selling more products, their shares have increased in value, and at least they have a chance at a better retirement or achieving their financial goals. In Kenya, it's a little bit different. Our stock market hasn't been all rosy. We don't have these mega companies performing better year over year. So a lot of investors in Kenya have been putting their money in land. Okay? Anyone who has ever been advised by their parents to buy land? Show of hands. Yeah, so it has become a subculture where a lot of people will just put their money in land, and since you can't create extra land, and more people who are gaining income are buying more and more land, you find that there is a static, I would say there is a static supply of land, and demand keeps on increasing, which pushes the prices of land high, right? And of course, the government is printing more money, so there is more and more currency chasing after the same land keeps appreciating. Okay? But then it has the overall effect of making homes unaffordable. Okay? So if you look around and you look at land prices around the area, the chances that you're gonna be able to buy a piece of land, let's say an acre of land around restaurants, whether it's Githurai, Karen, around Nairobi, and then build a home for yourself, chances are getting dim and dim and dim, okay? So this keeps pushing you further and further away from Nairobi, right? So, you find that if you look at the most affordable pieces of land right now, they're in distant areas, semi-arid areas. Okay? So it pushes that dream of you being able to raise a big family, educate your kids, own a house. The dream just keeps being pushed away and away. Okay? So a solution to this is to find a container that does not leak. Okay? And in this case, as I mentioned, you need to have your own honeypot, okay? The one that nobody can steal from you. And if each and every one of us was able to start saving money in Bitcoin, you know that nobody is going to print more Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is going to retain its value. If I do this, and I do this with my family, you do this with your family, and just in case, I'm saying this, just in case, we guys are successful, and we have as many families holding on to Bitcoin with their savings, then at that point, we might reverse the downward path we are headed. So the solution right here is just to buy Bitcoin and hold, in this case, holding your energy in a place that is not leaking. Thank you.
Oh, great. So, buy Bitcoin, you know, in the place where we are, our dreams will only come true through Bitcoin. If you look the way things are, anyway. So, we've seen a couple of this stuff happening, the scammers with M-Pesa, the scammers, the mobile banking system that we have. You find that somebody is in jail, somebody is not in a position, is not allowed to own a phone, but then you see these spam messages, you know? But then now we have Bitcoin, right? So Jason, how will you touch on security?
Well, like we've said, not your keys, not your coins. So as long as you protect those keys, like your life depends on it, your security is intact, right? It's basically, like CJ said, it's a password. So keep that safe. Don't let anyone else have your keys. Back it up somewhere safe that you know where it is, and practice restoring your keys into another wallet. Make sure that it works. The last thing you want to do is get yourself in a situation where you're panicking and you can't remember where you put your keys, and your wallet has lost, you lost the cable for your wallet, so you can't power it anymore. So make sure you have that backup. Make sure you test it. That's the most important thing. Test your backup. Make sure you can restore to another wallet. So just use the tools, practice the tools. The tools are getting better. If you have questions, reach out to some of the educators in this room. They're more than happy to help you. There's a lot of resources online, but don't panic. That's the number one thing, because the one thing people do losing their Bitcoin is they panic and they make a mistake, and then it's all gone. So you have to take personal responsibility and be very careful. But with that comes great responsibility. There's a lot of power, and it will empower you greatly, and you will grow as a person because of it.
Okay, so my turn is coming from them. So to a lady who is watching the show, right? Being at this place, so what will you say?
Okay, this is not only for ladies, but then as they say, there are a couple of educators in this room. If you are not yet onto the Bitcoin training, find a community. And then one thing that has really helped on late is the fact that you have globalized communities. If you find maybe the core is a little too hard, the English is actually too big for you, then probably there's another community that is well catered for you. So as a lady, you find that the times that you're in right now, it's good to have your own money as a girl. You used to be told, get as you older, and then marriage was to a certain extent an investment into your future. But then with the dating pool right now, interesting. So aim to become financially independent, and one of the ways you can attain financial independence is through Bitcoin. So if you're looking to join a Bitcoin community, find one that is catered to your liking. There is Bitcoin Dada, there is the core, Biashara is here, I have seen Linda somewhere around, there is affiliates. So figure out what community works for you, get into it, learn a thing or two. As Jason has said, practice. To a certain extent, you'll become actually too perfect, or you'll be actually too versed in matters Bitcoin. You'll be good to go. So get on the Bitcoin standard if you have not yet gotten there.
Just what you tell these people about I know they're so excited. I know they're going to research about Bitcoin and go through it. So what will you tell them?
Just keep learning and keep studying. First study the past, so you know how things work. You know, whenever anybody asks me, you know, what's Bitcoin, I always start off with what is money. And I've seen like the cohorts and how they teach it. In the first half, they only talk about Bitcoin. They talk about what is money, what is value, what's purchasing power, why do we even use money. Those are more important to understand. So before you try to learn, well, how do I build a house? Learn how to build a foundation. Learn how pipes work. Just keep learning. I've been in this space for about 8-9 years now, and I'm still learning stuff every single day. This is an entire new financial system. So, we're still learning stuff in the US dollar, the Kenyan shilling all the time. Why wouldn't you dedicate towards this? And I know a lot of you work 40 hours plus a week and don't even understand what money is. You spend all that time and energy trying to make something that you don't understand. Dedicate some more time to understand why you're working that hard. What are you actually working for? Because the wealthy people, one thing they do is they buy their time back. And with that time, they study, they read books, they watch podcasts, they watch documentaries. And the more you can learn, the better you can navigate in this space. And I look at these young people here, man, shout outs to y'all, because y'all are ahead of the game. Y'all are ahead of a lot of adults. So just keep working, keep studying, stay excited, but also a couple other things. One, kind of be quiet about what you got. I know a lot of people, especially in France, they start advertising how much they got. The torture systems are different in this space because, it's not like they can just come up to you and take it. It's a torture system now. It's not like they can just rob you with a wallet. So be quiet about what you got. And then once you got it, make sure you give back because somebody else is going to need that education. I look at what Alphabet's doing in Kibra. I look at what the Core is doing. I look at what they're doing for free or for very small money. That's getting back to your community. And then also once you make it, stay disciplined. I stress that a lot. I know a lot of people who've been in the space since 2012, 2013. All of a sudden they're rich and they're wealthy, and the next you know they're on drugs and they're in the streets because they didn't have self-discipline. So I believe 8 years, this can easily change your life, but make sure you stay disciplined because at the end of the day, I want you guys to excel, not be one of those people that made a bunch of money and then self-destructed.
Okay, great. Rufus, so I know we're still going in the economy. I know we will see a couple of battles ahead. So what are some of the battles we're ending and how could we become them? So I know we are still working in the economy, so there are a couple of challenges that we will face. So what are some of the solutions that we might find out?
Well, to be honest, I'm not very optimistic about our economy right now. We all know what's happening, right? So businesses are going down, shutting down, or retrenching. The economy is not really headed in the right direction. Okay. However, in every case where there is chaos, there comes opportunity. If you think about the history of Bitcoin, it was born after the 2007-2008 global financial crisis. So it was one of the worst economic periods in the United States and also in the Western Hemisphere. And then eventually a new product was born that basically revolutionized how we store value, how we transfer value, and change them. So, given what we are currently experiencing in Kenya in terms of digital revolution, we have a lot of opportunities, and what has really changed, especially for us, the young people, is that the job market and the creator market, the gig market has gone wildly. Okay, whatever a graphic designer can do in the US, in Canada, in Asia, in Europe, a Kenyan can do the same thing. Okay. So if it's let's say content creation, a person in Asia, a person in India, a person in the US, a person in Brazil, they don't have an advantage over you. Okay. As long as you have the skill, which you can learn online, as long as you can build, let's say you can build applications, whatever you do in this digital era, make sure you create as much value as you can. Okay. So the moment you get to that stage, your opportunities become borderless, just like Bitcoin is. Okay? So once you start realizing value and you have some surplus income, rather than do the traditional ways that you try to store value, let's say buying land, let's say buying shares and all that, you put your money where your mouth is. You put your money where you know nobody is going to touch that value. Regardless of how corrupt the government is, regardless of how corrupt your area is, nobody will be able to steal from you. So as long as you take advantage of those opportunities within the digital world, you have a much better chance, much fairer chance compared to everyone else. So I would encourage, especially the young guys around here, to look into those opportunities where you can extract value through having a skill, having a business online, having a gig where you create value for people and you earn something, and then you convert that to BTC. That's it. Simple.
Okay, great. So something that I need to tell you is that make sure you do research before you do something. Make sure you get to learn. But then the biggest thing that we need to do as young people, in as much as we need change, in as much as we need all this that we need, let us go back to the history. Let us see what had happened earlier, what is happening, and what will be happening. I think I'll be ending that. So I think I'll be ending my panel because I see my time is up. Thank you.
Okay, so I have them reintroduce themselves because I believe there is power in a name, and as much as there's also power in a title, right?
Yes.
Okay, we will start with Viola, then Felix, then we finally finish with Linda.
Hello everyone.
Hi.
I'm Viola Kipkorir. On my socials, I'm the selfish woman. Actually, very selfish. I am building Satoshi 5 which is a Bitcoin leadership program. I'm also doing Bitcoin educators training.
Okay, a clap for her.
Hello everyone, I'm Felix, building at the core, Bitcoin Gidrai as well. Apart from Bitcoin, I also do printing and brand services.
Let's clap.
Hello everyone. I'm smiling. Please smile markedly and respond. Hello everyone. Thank you. I like the energy. So my name is Linda Kariuki. I am no longer the national coordinator of Kenya, but I serve as the regional coordinator of East Africa at Africa Students Unity Party. I also am the founder of Actually Chess Academy Kenya, and I also course apart from founding it. And finally, I founded Bitsy Basket Hub out of like a need, which is I realized that right now it's so difficult for the young, vibrant, hardworking population to actually appreciate the value of what they have. So you find that you try and save in fiat, and inflation comes and wipes away everything that you try to hold on to. So that's where Bitsy Basket came out.
Let's clap for her. So on to my first question to you, Felix. What role has the core played in building self-sustaining education programs?
All right, so being at the core, we say at the moment most of the Bitcoin education platforms, because of the level at which people understand Bitcoin is very low, so we solely depend on support in terms of finances, grants, but then we're looking forward to ways we can have self-sustaining Bitcoin education programs. But currently, what we're doing is just creating awareness to ensure that this kind of information is out there. And like I've said, all you need, like I did on my previous presentation, if you have internet connection, it's not really much expensive nowadays. It's very easy to build from that. What you can do as a person that you're building, you can start from that. That's how the course started. And so far we are doing good. And the kind of projects that are coming out of the core 53 being one of it, we're really much excited to see what's happening with what we've been working on in terms of creating Bitcoin awareness and we're looking forward to see how some of these education platforms can be self-sustaining.
Now, you've mentioned about awareness, and we all know education is the key that unlocks the golden road to freedom. So how are you making it relatable to the young people?
All right, so, I got introduced to Bitcoin through scam projects, and that's the reason of building the core, and just the way the word sounds, the core. I was hoping projects would come out of that, and not just Bitcoin education. And my major goal is for the youth, and we are trying as much as possible to ensure that this information is the right and can be easily accessed. When I was studying Bitcoin, it's good right now we have all these projects. We have BitSavers, we have Satoshi, we have the core, so many other Bitcoin education platforms. When I was doing this, the information was very scattered. You could just watch a YouTube video, it's not curriculum, just watch a video, read an article, read a blog, read all these things. How do you get these whole things together? Which the path that you can, or anything that you can follow from the history of money all the way to why Bitcoin. So what we are doing, apart from the online Bitcoin education, which is for inclusivity, so anybody who can join online, if they have the capacity to do that, they join. And now we are working on a physical setting so that people who are able to come to our physical facilities to learn about Bitcoin, they come. But apart from that, we know Bitcoin is open source everything. It's all about open source and stuff. So if you go to our GitHub, all the education resources are there. Actually, they have been classified to what you are looking at. Bitcoin economics is there. Bitcoin mining, it's there. Bitcoin and human rights is there, and so many other topics that you are interested to. If your Bitcoin education platform you want to start, or you already have a platform, and especially if you're using the diploma, Bitcoin diploma curriculum, the quizzes are there. The assignments that we've used or in the previous cohorts are all there. So you don't have to start from scratch. How do you set quizzes? How do you evaluate your students? So we have open sourced everything apart from just educating. As well, we want to make this information very easily accessible. So for those people who scan those QR codes, if you look at it, it's a place you can look for all this information. If you join our community, you click at the link, we have a Google Drive with all these kind of things that you want to know. Also, just in a simpler form, not really detailed, but it can really help you to know where to get started. And also, on our socials, we're trying to also find a way to engage our online audience. We post quizzes that people can interact with. So someone will be scrolling on their Instagram and look, okay, so what is this? So they just themselves. And if they can't answer, probably they go and Google it. And tomorrow we're posting the correct answers. So we're trying to find all ways we can reach as the bigger audience, but as well as also to do this physically through our physical Bitcoin community.
Wow, that's really, really great work. Now on to the selfish woman, Viola. What are the most effective messaging and outreach strategies that you had to use when you're venturing into new communities? Basically, when you're trying to teach them Bitcoin, like when you started recently, what are the strategies that you've used to be able to get your students to understand and appreciate Bitcoin?
Okay. Personally, I've engaged with almost the same kind of community, with younger people from my age, like just youth who are dealing with the same problem. But really, I think the first thing that someone should consider when talking to someone about Bitcoin is what is this person going through, depending on where they're coming from. And then because Bitcoin solves a ton of things, so you first start with the problem that they're going through. But I see one point that works for every single person is understanding what money is and why Bitcoin is sound money. Yeah.
Now, then, as you're doing your educational campaigns, how do you evaluate the long-term impact? Now, as you've identified the problem, you've been able to guide them and talk to them, you found a solution. So how do you evaluate if this solution that you gave them is actually going to help help them in the long run?
Okay, so I do Bitcoin leadership, which is basically decentralized leadership, where you are leading yourself 100%. Nobody is coming after you. Nobody is really telling you what to do. Bitcoin leadership is really using what you have, that is what's present for you, and what and how you can use it to solve the problems that you're experiencing or your community is experiencing. So really, the kind of system that I I teach is that you create a self-system like that depends on you only. And also you as a person just knows how to. It really comes from within.
Yeah. What I'm getting, I say it's more like self-Bitcoining.
Yes, 100%.
So I think now the next question would go to Linda. Having started BitSavers, EduHub, how do you combine self-custodies training with also when it comes to Trezor as well? How are you combining self-custodies training and storytelling in real life practice?
Okay, that's really a nice question. So, Trezor Academy is that, and if you just get out there, we have like the Trezor Safe 3, and we have like one wallet we've already like opened, so we can demo like how you can connect your gadget maybe to the laptop, and we've also had like 2 videos play. We will replay them for the sake of driving the message home on how, number 1, to operate the self-custodial wallet. So that is the Trezor Safe 3. And number 2, how to install it first, how to install the Trezor suite and like start operating with it, and now how to operate it. So the journey to self-custody right now, to any Kenyan or anyone in the East African country, I think we've realized that bad governance can really do a number on us, right? So, and because of that, the only way you can have your assets safe, I think right now, is by having a self-custodial wallet, and a physical hardware wallet is even more safer. And if you have like that self-custodial wallet on your phone, it is very nice now to actually test your backup if it's working, because right now you dare say 2 wrong things and you're no longer with us. So you find that your phone is seized, and if you had not tested your backup, then it doesn't, you find that you're like minutes away to losing your Bitcoin. Now, all that are happening at the same time. Let's go back to BitSavers. We are trying to call upon people to save with Bitcoin, right? And why we're asking people to save with Bitcoin, it's because despite Bitcoin being a deflationary tool, number 2, the good thing with Bitcoin is that I feel it guarantees freedom for whatever you want to start, or rather for whatever you want to do in the long run. So how do I manage now to combine self-custody and storytelling? I don't know if CJ is here with us, but recently when we revised our curriculum with BitSavers EduHub, we have like our second last session is like avoiding the common pitfalls within the Bitcoin space. So I feel everyone who is a Bitcoiner, you don't have to be a novice or a veteran or anyone. I feel you could end up losing your Bitcoin in one way or the other. So you find that by that, we appreciate people sharing their own stories or something that has happened to them before, so that the message like is driven home. And now with self-custody, the second session with Trezor Academy, we always study how to use Bitcoin. Those that have been part of the Trezor Academy, please, you can raise your hand. We have, if you're kind enough, you could. Thank you. So the second session, you can all bear me witness. We actually interact with the hardware wallet itself. So you find that we are able now to learn self-custody in real time and appreciate the role that you having a physical hardware wallet. Just appreciate what your hardware wallet can do for you. And to add the icing on the cake, the best students, that is the top student, is always awarded a hardware wallet. Yeah, so that's what we do.
Thank you so much. Now, Felix, you mentioned apart from Bitcoin, you also do designing, right? Yeah. So how you say like with creative, as a Bitcoin and someone who's also a creative, What has been your analysis, also maybe let's say your story when it comes to actually using your creativity to engage the youth, maybe through your designs? What's the story there? Like, what have you learned? What have you discovered?
Printing service is a business model for me. When I started the core, I definitely knew I'm not going to charge for classes, right? Because this information, people, and the misinformation that has been there about Bitcoin, I'm not going to charge for classes. But then I was still in covers. How do I make money off of this? Right? So alongside doing education, I'm going to print for Bitcoin projects, which is developing, it's something that's still developing in this world now. That is to mean more projects that are coming in will need those kind of services. And that was purely a business model of me earning in the space. And that's how I come to print for actually 90% of all the Bitcoin projects that are here. I did for my Blink, I think I've done for Trezor, a couple of Afribit, I'm the one doing that. So that was my initial, I didn't know all the grants. You know, I didn't form the core knowing we can get grants. I just wanted people not to face what I went through. Because I didn't have even Bitcoin Twitter. I developed a curriculum myself before getting to understand the Premier Bitcoin diploma. So the creative side of me doing printing services was purely for profit. All right. So I knew that eventually, as this technology grows, more projects are going to be built. We will definitely need these services. Have you ever seen how Safaricom is doing its branding? As soon as you see green, it's M-Pesa. That's what we are hoping for Bitcoin eventually, especially for circular economies. Okay? And that is it. So I'm encouraging that if you have this particular service that you can offer, and I know it might be very difficult when you're building a Bitcoin project in terms of earning from it. Most of these services that are starting are actually just doing these things out of passion. If it's something that's a tool, they're not really charging fees, right? So it's out of passion. As we continue to grow, we really want adoption to happen. If you remember very well, when Pesa started, I believe they didn't start with charging transaction fees. No, maybe want users, or even Facebook, they how they started. We just register, create an account, and then the business model of it comes later. So, encouraging, if you have a particular skill, which is the best way to earn Bitcoin, is to provide a service or sell goods. Okay? Not so many of us can do mining. Not so many of us are going to start a project today and receive a grant tomorrow or 1 year. It might take some time. Right? So I'm encouraging whatever you're working with, the service or skill you can provide comes first. And whatever you are doing kind of just runs with what helps you pay your bills. But remember that Bitcoin can be a tool for empowerment or whatever you're building. Okay? So in terms of what I'm doing with printing, it was how I thought I could make or earn in the Bitcoin space.
Okay, that's wonderful. Now, lastly, to all of you, I think we still have time. In a quick summary, this question is to all of you. How can educational projects scale without losing grassroots impact?
Okay, I think I will start first. So I think what I've learned, not even with Bitcoin projects, but if you start something without a clear foundation or a vision, it is bound to shake at some point, right? So I feel that if you're running a Bitcoin project, whatever project you're running, but majorly an academic project, that is a Bitcoin education project, I think when you're building it, in as much as
things will happen in the future, it is nice that to have like the people's interest at heart, they say so. So like the end goal should be, myself with Beat Savers, I really want to see people enjoy their life, or rather enjoy money. I'm trying to remember what Sabina tried to say. I think something with the system, that the system is the problem, something of that sort. But you find that if you're earning in fiat, surely this fiat system is only geared towards making the rich richer and the poor more poorer. And there's this sentence I keep on saying, there is no way dignity and poverty can appear the same sentence. It will never happen. Honestly, it will never. So because of that, what I will do, or rather what I keep reminding myself every time I'm doing anything, even with the Chef Academy, in order not to lose the grassroots impact, I think my ideology or whatever led me, the passion that I had when starting this project, I think that should be the core of anything and any kind of projects that I'm venturing in. So that said, I think now, this is something that I would wish to share with you all. I think we have like an incoming cohort for Treza. Feel free to join us, or rather sign up somewhere where we are. We have like a QR code, you can go and scan it. What I'm saying so is that I've really had to fight with so many of you asking for the wallets, and I tried giving you the prices of the wallet and telling you that I'm going to waive $10 for the shipping fee, and trust me, no one is buying what I'm trying to say. So because of that, if you believe in yourself enough that you can get that wallet and you can be the best student, I challenge you and invite you to sign up with us, and yes, let's learn together. That's it to my end.
Okay, thank you so much, Linda. Philip?
Who really needs Bitcoin? All of you. All right? All of us. No, not just you. So I need Bitcoin. All right? So that should not escape your fundamental goal of building a Bitcoin education platform. You know, if you tell Elon, you have a problem of spending, he doesn't know, he doesn't understand the problem that you're talking about. If you tell all these people with money that they have a problem with inflation, it doesn't clock into them, all right? So what I'm trying to say is, if you're building a Bitcoin project, ensure that at least whatever you're doing, you do everything that your community benefits the most. I was doing, or the core rather was doing online education. Internet sometimes a challenge, not so many people can make. What are we doing now? We are aiming to build a physical setup for physical classes. No? So you keep on finding ways that the people or the communities where you come from are they actually beneficiary of the technology, not just the consumers, because if you're not careful with how this information comes, eventually you find yourself in a consumer side. Okay? That's why I'm key on Bitcoin education. No, you don't know Bitcoin just because you're able to send and receive Bitcoin. You need to know why you are sending or you are accepting Bitcoin. That should not leave the core of your founding a Bitcoin education platform. Ensure if it's possible, you're able to translate or you're able to teach in the local context, you can do that. Okay? But then what the core is doing currently, doing the online program has been our main program. We are going to stick to it. As we continue, we are going to work with the physical program that we are going to ensure that we can interact with people in a language that's very easy. No? I don't have to explain all of these concepts in English all of the time, but because of our online initiative being global, then we have to stick to maybe English. But we want to ensure that there are platforms that we can really move from one language to another that everybody does understand. So that's kind of what I'm always trying to encourage people. Do not forget that this is a technology that is actually a playing field now. These are people who you look to be very, very extremely rich. They don't know so much about Bitcoin. So this is the opportunity for all of us to get this kind of information, use the information to build yourself. You can't come 10 years from now to say that, all right, so this is something for the US. They have the economic power. Yet you heard about Bitcoin in this event and went home did nothing. All right, it's actually a technology for everyone. I don't adhere to the talks that all right. So we have the wells in the Western countries. So start Bitcoin is at probably 115K now. That is still very low if you're comparing that to USD. There's so much time. Any chance you have to get the sats, get the sats. Any service you can provide with Bitcoin, do that. So in whatever thing you're good at, ensure that you can participate in the Bitcoin space.
So much now, briefly.
I think most of the things have been said, but really that deep need to serve your community is basically what should drive you. Bitcoin gets really deep into you. You're like, this could save a lot of problems for myself. And if it could do that, everybody, Felix has said, everybody needs Bitcoin. And just really want to serve the community is basically it. Yeah, and another thing is people should keep around the community. I think Bitcoin is one thing that's going to heal a lot of things that go on in the community. Relationships are not working. With Bitcoin, relationships will work better, definitely. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so I think we can start introducing ourselves. Yeah, and I'll begin. My name is Sharon Murugi. I'm the communications lead at Trust, where we train and fund open source development ecosystem in the global south. Pedro?
So thank you. Hi Bitcoiners. When I say Bitcoiners, you say Misisi. Bitcoiners. Misisi. Thank you. My name is Kevin McKinney. I am a Bitcoiner. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm also a graduate of the fifth cohort and Bit Biashara, Bitcoin for Business. Yeah. So I'm also a Bitcoin creative, specifically Bitcoin spoken words. Thank you.
Hello Bitcoiners. Nikisema woza Bitcoiners, nasema woza Bitcoiners. Yeah, I am Miches Zuma from Afrobit Kibra, program manager. Happy to be here.
Hi everyone. Hi. My name is Teresa Wanja, or Terry. I'm a social media manager at Bitcoin Baby. Apart from that, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an event planner and manager. Yeah.
Thank you so much. These people are doing incredible work, pushing Bitcoin forward. And I will start with you, Teresa. So the Bitcoin concept to an everyday person is a bit challenging. So when you're driving adoption and when you want to tell a merchant, hey, I want you to accept Bitcoin, how's that process? Talk us through that.
So I'll customize that question with what we are doing at Bitcoin Babies. So at Bitcoin Babies, we are empowering young moms. If you're pregnant or you have a child who is 1 year old and below, we incorporate you in our program. It's based in Kimbo, Matangi area. So we incorporate you in our program where we teach you about Bitcoin and also nutrition to babies and also mental health. That is what we do. So we saw a gap because every week we give our moms $5 worth of Bitcoin, and we saw a gap where there was nowhere to spend Bitcoin. So we approached merchants who are familiar to our moms. When you look at our circular economy, it is well balanced. We have a hospital, we have a clinic, we have a hospital, we have a chemist, we have a supermarket, we have a grocery, to make sure that the moms are able to spend sats every week. So, first of all, we approached merchants that were familiar to the months so that you could build trust. Then number two, we also approached merchants who are ready to learn more about Bitcoin and to accept it as a method of payment in their businesses. So far, we have around 15 merchants in our circular economy, and we make sure that every week, the months are able to spend to at least 2 or 3 of the merchants. And also the Bitcoin Babies employees, we are paid in sats. So every week, everyone has a duty to go and shop at our circular economy. So our number one rule, no, not rule, but what we considered in approaching the merchants was making sure that they are familiar with the months and they are familiar with us so that we can earn the trust of incorporating them in our circular economy. Yeah.
That is lovely. I love what you're doing, especially since that's a very niche group of people. Beach, I'll go to you. AfriBeat is one of the most successful, dare I say, circular economies in Africa and Kenya. So tell us about how that came to be and sort of the process. What's it like?
Yeah, so I'll break this into three. I'll start with relationship, approach, and trust. So number one, if you want to build like a tangible or rather strong circular economy back in your community, your relationship with the people that are around you must be that compatible or rather strong, because without a strong relationship, then you're going to end up maybe doing something that even you by yourself will end up being devastated or something. So your relationship with them always matter. And these kind of people that you're trying to relate with, they must be people who also have good morals value in the community, because this is something that you want to see it growing and benefiting the community as well, not just growing. So the kind of people that you should always relate with when trying like to start a circular economy, they should be people who have good morals value in the community. Minus that, then you'll be out of the box. That is number one. Number two, approach do matter. If you know somebody, then you should also know how to approach that somebody or other community. So for us, what has worked for us is, apart from Bitcoin, we've been doing several programs back in our community. But at the end of the day, we will just categorize them as a Bitcoin project, though it's not a Bitcoin project. Because by that, now the Bitcoin idea starts sinking to the mind of your community members. Because if I was to do it once or twice, or maybe have a session with them once or twice again, it won't be that effective. But if I have like a number of programs that I do with them, like weekly, monthly, yearly, then after the whole programs I categorize them as like Bitcoin programs. It now becomes easy for them, like now, to understand my approach based on what I'm trying to dive them into. Because if I miss that approach, then again there is going to be a problem. In most occasions, we've had people who have visited us. We've had people who have maybe at one point tried to mess our programs. But because of now the relationship that we have in the community, it was somehow something that could be resolved. Minus that, maybe we could have been labeled now as scammers, or maybe, you see, now things like Papa was trying to ask here, yeah, how trusted are you, blah, 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 blah. We could not be labeled like such a people. Yeah, so after relationship, approach is very important. Then, after now you've known the approach of how you are going, like to approach these people and tell them, like, this is what I want us to dive into. You should be somebody who is trusted in the community. For instance, we've had a scenario whereby somebody, just a Bitcoiner from several Bitcoiners, visited us and he started like scamming our people or something. And that one really tarnished our name, but we had to come in as Afrobeat and now tell them, okay, there was a misunderstanding here. Maybe we thought this person was a good person, was maybe going to do this to you, but after all, the results are not what we expected. So trust is very fundamental when trying to build a circular economy back in the community. If you lack those three, then we'll be building something that at the end of the day will not give you like results of what you want. Yes.
A quick follow-up question on that. How do you go about approaching someone and telling them about Bitcoin? There's this thing that we want you to start using or know about. Tell me.
Yeah, so for me it was easy since I was born and bred in Kibra, and those people, like number of them know me. So I find it easy. My first approach, of course, even if somebody knows you and you want to introduce something new to them, you should again introduce yourself, now based on what you want to introduce to them. So yes, I am Mitch, and we are trying to push for this kind of initiative. The advantages are this, the disadvantages are this. And if you accept, like, maybe to journey with us in this amount of things that I'm trying to bring you in, this is what you are going to get, and this is what you're not going to get, because humans have expectations. And once you are like able to notify their expectations and now reflect them on that, it becomes easy for you now to convince them. Not like maybe you are trying to bribe them or to buy their trust or something. You just be original. You tell them like the advantages, disadvantages, and everything based on what you're trying to put them in. So that at one point when things collapse, they already know, like we were already told about this, you see? So it depends. Different people always reach different people with a different approach. My approach may not be your approach. I may go there, maybe speak with a person in my mother tongue, or rather Sheng, Lugayamta, or rather English. Now it depends. From there, when you see like now the attention of the person that you're trying now to talk, or maybe to invite into this smaller circle of Bitcoin, once you realize like what you are telling him or her has attracted his or her attention, then that's it. You keep on now pressing and pressing. Yes.
Hi, Kev. You look difficult. I remember the first time I met you was at the Biashara graduation.
Yeah, sure.
Great work. Building yourself to where you are right now. So I have a question for you. What lesson from EcoBees show how circular economy usage can fuel small businesses growth? Just tell us. Yeah, just how Bitcoin has helped grow you as a person and also your business.
So thank you. What I can say is that when I understood about Bitcoin, I was looking for somewhere like where I can practice what I have learned. And because already I have seen that Bitcoin is the future, and it's the freedom that we need as small businesses, as young people who we don't have employment yet, like me. So I went and noticed a niche in my community. So it all started with glass waste. So I was around my home, and then I was seeing around my market glass were being discarded everywhere. And then I organized a team of 3 members, my friends. We collected them And then 3 months to come, we were looking in LinkedIn, looking for where we can take the glass. And then 4 months, 3 months, we noticed that EABL, East African Breweries, they were piloting a project called Tradition, whereby we can take the glasses. And so that's where we started working. We cleaned our environment, and then we went to where the glasses were coming from the businesses. And that's all where it started. So when I go to those businesses, we teach them how to open their wallets and opening wallets, and then they bring we are working towards circular economy for both glass and Bitcoin. So we are saving glass. And same way we are making them understand Bitcoin. So it's a win-win situation for both glass and Bitcoin. So coming back to you, the impact that we have seen, it's like now I have increased my level of, my business is growing. Like I have got a trolley whereby we carry the glasses using, and so people are asking, what are you doing? Yeah, they are wondering. So when they come to me and I tell them it's Bitcoin, so they are curious to know what's Bitcoin, and that's where I get to educate them about Bitcoin, and yeah.
Your money is working for you.
Right.
Teresa, what are the biggest challenges, cultural or social, that you've encountered, especially like when you're introducing the whole concept?
So definitely, when we began, people were thinking this is a scam. It was after the WorldCoin demos, and people were thinking they have come to scan their eyes. But we really tried to reassure them about Bitcoin with time. And our circular economy is as a result of them trusting us. And the other one was the merchants were asking us, who is going to spend Bitcoin? If I accept Bitcoin, who is going to spend it? But we assured them that we have moms. Our program runs for a whole year. So every week, the moms are spending, and the employees are spending also. So that also gives them an assurance of Bitcoin circulating in the economy. Another challenge was the volatility. They were really concerned about the rising and decreasing of Bitcoin prices. So we were able to reassure them by showing them how to spend in stable sats, that is USD. When you look at the Blink wallet, you can use the stable sats where it is not affected by the volatility. So we were able to teach them about that. Another one, we were able to tell them that they can spend their sats fast before anything happens. And also big shout out to Tando. Tando was one of the tools that really gave them an encouragement, because for merchants, they have to go to spend to other merchants for resourcing their goods and everything, and not everyone is aware of Bitcoin. So we were able to tell them there is a way that you can change your Bitcoin to Kenyan shillings if you want to spend locally. So those are the challenges we got, but with time, we were able to reassure our merchants, and also every time we have events, we do them around our community. Last month, I think, on May we had Bitcoin Pizza Day, and we really supported the merchants. We invited them to come and see what we do. what the program is about. Every time we have an event, we always reward them, and that makes them to trust us. So that's how we were able to solve the cultural and behavioral challenges that we have.
Thank you so much. Mitch, what is one thing that your parting shots, since I see we are a bit short on time. So what is your parting shot? What would you tell someone who would like to learn more about circular economies, maybe how to start one? Yeah.
Okay, so what I will tell somebody who want to learn about Bitcoin circular economy, first of all, if you are maybe for instance, a kiosk owner or maybe a shop owner, or maybe you have your business, a personal business, try and assume that you are the first merchant of that business that you're doing. Try and assume that. For me, that is what has worked for me back in Kibra, because I was like the first merchant to accept Bitcoin. I have a small shop that do fries. So what really sold me out was how I branded that shop, because I used like Bitcoin stickers and it was somehow attractive. And yeah, at times people could pass and ask me, is it true that Bitcoin exists in Kibra? Because in our locality, many people don't believe that something good can come out of Kibra. It's the same way many people did not believe that Jesus was born and bred in Bethlehem or something, you see? Yeah, but that's where good things are, you see? Yeah, so for me it was like an lightening to my community, because through my shop I could now see people like they have that urge of like, what is this? To show Budai Mimi, you see? And I'm like, yeah, this is Bitcoin. How does it operate? Very simple. No ID, only phone number, pap, you have a wallet, and of course, I don't lack some sats in my wallet. I always tip like my first clients, even if it's 50 bob, then they'll tip me back to my shop. Yeah, that is just for opening a wallet for them. So for me, that one has been easy. And again, I will say like our spread has also been helped by a group called Live Great Foundation. We started like with 10 people. It was a waste management product or something. They do collect waste every Saturday, not Saturday, actually Sunday, and maybe expecting like a 20 bob from the house owners or something. So we as AfriBit, we look at that and say, this would be a best way of making now the sats to circulate not only via my shop, but through some other friends. And the big boost that I had when trying to build this, we also had like a Bitcoin pool tournament. And on that day, we had like 100 people who were watching that Bitcoin pool tournament. And of course, we all opened for them like a Blink wallet. We know some did not have phones or something. Felix was there, but he was helping with Manchankura and everything. So that one really helped us like now to build the circular and maybe like to spread the message about Bitcoin. And of course, we also have classes that happen twice a month, courtesy of EduApp and Deco. They are our teachers. So I can say we are a little bit way equipped kidogo with what we are trying to do, and we believe we are going or rather heading in the right direction. Yes.
Thank you so much. Kevin, any last words?
So thank you. So for EcoBits, we are building something not only waste management, but also we are sparking creativity. Because we see the waste that we collect, that is glass waste, we have that which remains. So we cut them into flower vases, into drinking glass, and then we sell them. So I'm urging, if you have some glass in your home, you can bring them to us. We reshape them, we add value, and then we can transact in sats. So thank you.
Teresa? I think sure.
I would just congratulate my class. I'm also part of them, and I've learned a lot. I would just encourage everyone to join the Bitcoin community and continue to spread the word, one person at a time. In the next 10 years, I think we will have a lot of merchants accepting Bitcoin. I think the biggest challenge is when you spend at a merchant and then they convert it. So that breaks the essence of the circular economy. So in the future, I hope we will be able to circulate the Bitcoin all over. Even in my event business, I'm thinking of recruiting some suppliers so that I can also be part of it. Yeah.
Thank you to our incredible speakers. You're doing great work, so thank you for what you do. If you want to learn more about circular economies, you can reach out to them. There's also Felix, Rosaline as well. Anything from plans onboarding to, what to learn, courses to take, stuff like that. Thank you so much for giving me your attention. Yeah, thank you. If you wanna follow them on social media, they're here, so you can reach out to them.
Inafaa nalipia bidhaa mara moja, hakuna kungoja. Imara kama soja, pesa ya umoja inatuleta pamoja. Humble African, yes we can, I stand tall like Burj Khalifa. Ukijituma utapata na sifa, tukeshe kazini mradi tuboreshe. Mpango ni Bitcoin na tudai kasheshe. I'm on a mission, guided by the vision, ready for a fusion. Makini, I'm out.
So my name is Silas Gegi. So I'm a graduate of the Code 7, the core. So I will first say, when I encountered Bitcoin at the first time, just like anyone, I was so skeptical. Like, I had so many questions. Like, there's a lot of speculation about, especially crypto, generally. So I had a lot of questions. So I didn't want to engage a lot with Bitcoin. But after a session with Afribit to begin with, I joined the core. So what I'll say is that it's funny that right now, if you ask me what is Bitcoin and like how do I see Bitcoin, it's so different. It's like I took a 180 degrees shift, like I changed. So so I will say like right now I live Bitcoin. So I also had Bitcoin, I save, and also I spend Tando. And so what I'll say is that if there's anyone who really wants to join, like who is really interested in this Bitcoin thing, I'll say that maybe you're not too late. Okay, there's no being late, better late than never. So you can still join, because most people see Bitcoin as an internet of money, just there. But come to think of it, Bitcoin is somehow the future of money. So let fiat, like just leave fiat alone,
Exactly what you're saying. It's that simple. Leave fiat alone. It's that simple. Okay, good. Next guy. Keep it short and sweet.
So, hi everyone. So, this is Brian. Nimekam kwa hii stage na kamoto. I'm so Satoshi-fied. I'm feeling like Satoshi right now. So, I'm here courtesy of the core. The core has given me a lot of education. I had prior knowledge to Bitcoin, or My prior knowledge about it was quote unquote the internet coin maybe, but through the education from the core, the way they set up everything in their stuff, I was able to learn a lot that Bitcoin is just not the internet coin, quote unquote. And now I see it as a hope, and that changes everything, you know, because you get to realize the vision behind Bitcoin. Yeah. So now, in my mind, after learning all that education, so in my mind I'm like, so what next? I'm moving to my next kiosk. I'm going to buy maybe some milk, and I'm just spending SAPs. I don't have to spend any fiat money, you know. And with all that, I think I can just say, with all this technology, with the introduction of AI, I think that this Bitcoin is the future of finance. So the earlier you embrace it, the better. So we are all still early, and if you're not there yet, you're not early, but you're not late. So welcome to the co.
Okay, you said welcome to the no welcome to Bitcoin. Not welcome to Bitcoin.
Welcome to the core, because the core will teach you about Bitcoin.
Period.
It's the most important.
Period. Thank you. Thank you. The said education is important. Okay. Okay. Next, who the ladies? Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Hi. Hello, everyone. Yes, my name is Helen Mubeu Tuku. I am a student of the core, the 7th cohort. I'm happy to be here. My perspective before I joined the core in terms of Bitcoin was very different. I had a very funny thought about Bitcoin, because my friends used to say that it's kind of scam. When you risk investing in Bitcoin, because anytime you may lose your sat. But I didn't know that there is something we call the custodial and the wallets and the phrases and everything. But when I joined the core, I got to learn about what really Bitcoin is. And I really urge us to embrace Bitcoin, because because of its decentralized nature. Nobody controls it, and you have control over your money, you have control over your currency. So please embrace Bitcoin. And I would like to thank Felix for the opportunity to be a student of the core, and welcome anybody who wants to join the core. Kindly, you can join cohort 9, because I think cohort 8 is full. But if you've not joined, please make an attempt of joining. Thank you.
Felix. Felix, I'm a home guard. Felix has bribed people. Is it just that good, or is it your stats? Your stats somewhere, or is it that good?
No, it's good.
It's that good.
Yes.
Code 5 we failed. We didn't talk about it that much. Well, okay, good job. Hi.
Hi everyone. Hi. My name is Baby.
Sorry. I butchered it. I knew I was butchering it. Sorry.
So mine is just to echo what Marimu said. Before I joined the core, I used to think Bitcoin was something out of this world. I used to think it was difficult, it was a scam, but it's not. It's something so simple. And if you've not joined, you can join cohort 9. We are not promoting it. It's not being paid to promote it, but we are advising you guys to join so that you can get the knowledge that we've got from the program. Thank you.
My name is Doris Olela. I'm glad to be here. I think that's all about me for the introduction for now. I'm a cohort 2 graduate at BitSavers Edu Hub by Linda Karaoke. Oye, Linda, Team Linda. Yeah, actually before
Ulikuwa maandamano?
We are those people.
You are those people?
We are those people.
Cool.
Comrade
Some of us will die with tear gas. Okay, cool.
Okay, before I knew so much about Bitcoin, actually I was one of the victims of scams. And I think it was last year when I attended the Africa Bitcoin conference, courtesy of Linda Karaoke again, where actually I got to feature on BBC, and I had no knowledge about Bitcoin, only the basics that I had then. But now that led me to wanting to know more about what this Bitcoin is. Okay, I know it's about internet money, so apart from that, what else do I know? So I decided to do a course at the BitSavers Edu Hub, and that's when I got to learn about Bitcoin, the self-custodial wallet, and everything around Bitcoin. And maybe that's just an encouragement for all of us who are here, and maybe they are also lost like me then, but now I'm found. Well, it's just an encouragement. If you want to join those startups classes, go in, get in with a lot of questions, with a mindset to learn, because it's not just about classwork, but it's a mindset shift. So if you are willing to learn, the class will find you wherever you are. You don't need to travel in order to attend these classes. They are virtual. Thank you to technology. And that has also made me to be of the mind that please photograph and record this for my future. Actually, my ex-future husband, if you are here or you are following this, Akiyo Mahari, if it's not in Bitcoin, Itaki. That's what I've resorted to. And that's all thanks to the Bitcoin education and knowledge. And that's why I'm also advocating for all of you to really embrace it, because it's either you are on this table or you are the menu. Thank you so much.
I'm gonna insist, your time is 3 minutes and below. Yes, but thank you. Please appreciate her one more time. Clearly, what I'm getting from a lot of ladies up here is that, men, for you to be attractive, you will need to be a Bitcoiner. That's all I've gotten. That's all I've gotten.
Hi. My name is Grace Aluma. I'm a social media at Tumaini Dada Initiative. I'm the head of Tech Beyond Adversity BTC podcast. And also I work with Afribit under Women and Girls Empowerment. For me, before I joined Bitcoin, I saw Bitcoin was so challenging. In the sector part of UTXOS, I saw it as a big world thing. I could not understand it, and also I was told it's a scam. But when I joined BitSavers through Linda, I met Linda through Afribit, and I was eager to join BitSavers. I joined, and from that I have been learning Bitcoin, what's Bitcoin, how to set up a wallet, the difference between custodial and non-custodial wallets. And what I can say from that is I was empowered, brave, and freedom-filled. What I can give advice to those who want to join EduHub: be curious, stay focused, show up, and be ready to learn. Through Bitcoin, this life will change. It's a freedom. Thank you.
Hello everyone. Hi. My name is Edwin Morar. Okay, before BitSavers, I only thought that Bitcoin is just digital money. And then after BitSavers, I have learned that Bitcoin is all about tech revolution and freedom. Now this has helped me to understand, and this has helped me to learn about how inflation steals value and how Bitcoin stores value. And to everyone who is looking to learn about Bitcoin, just understand that the fiat money is all about
it is not just a tool, it is a mirror of the system. And in the world of noise, just know Bitcoin is the signal, so stay on it. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Brian. I'm a student at the NC State University in North Carolina. And I got the public transport. We are off for summer to attend this graduation. I was the last cohort and attend the second cohort for BITS first sorry for that. I'm Brian, a student at the NC State University in North Carolina. I'm a Bitcoin student from the BitSaver Sedo Hub, and this is the second graduation for the cohort 2. And what I can say about Bitcoin, it is fast, decentralized, and it's safe to use across the world, not only in Kenya. Thank you.
Thank you for keeping it short and sweet. Kindly stand up, take a photo, appreciate them one more time.
Awesome, awesome. How many of you are developers? By just show of hands. How many of you are having TikTok on your phone? How many of you have YouTube? How many of you have written a blog? Great. So, what I'm trying to demonstrate is the power is in your hands, right? You now have the knowledge of Bitcoin. So the question comes, what next? I don't know if the facilitator could open Genesis block on a different tab. Genesis block. If you have internet, or if anyone knows why Bitcoin started. So there's a message there from the first people who actually set up the blockchain. Open the Genesis block and also open the block 66666, and not on the slides, if you can open them on the internet. There are very important messages towards the reason for blockchain being there, and particularly Bitcoin, right? You guys now have access to a serious power and potential. I want you guys to think about fire. I want you guys also to think about lightning. Imagine the first human who ever saw fire, right? When we were cavemen in the caves. Finally, they could keep warm, right? They could fry an egg. They could make their food stay longer. So you guys now have been trained to understand a new financial technology. So the next question is, okay, what will you do with it? Will you stay with it, right? And become rich? And then what next? Just go to the next slide. Just go back. So there's a parable of talents. Huh? For any of you who've read the Bible, you should know this story. There are three people, each with different talents. The first guy went, used whatever he had, doubled it. Second guy came, used whatever he had, also doubled it. Last guy came, he had the worst mindset, right? And unfortunately in that story, you'll hear the master talking about, you should have deposited the talents in the bank and get interest. So if there's any Marxists, don't throw a shoe at me. But the lesson here is about proof of work. The master came back, yeah? For you guys, even as you try and go to plug into remote work, not just the graduates, but anyone who works from home, or if you even want to enter to that space, you have to be accountable, yeah? You will be given instructions. You will be told that, hey, we need an output. If you work with Bitcoin and you understand even how it connects to energy, you get to understand that proof of work concept. And that's how it connects to work. You get rewarded for what you've done. Next slide, please. So remote work is basically plugging into work. In the pictures you can see, you can work from home, you can work from a cafe, but now you're connected into the global system, right? Things that were far from us are now close to us. You can literally work with someone in New York right now. You can work with someone in Colombia, Nepal, at the same time. What does Bitcoin do? You've all heard about this payment disparity. I'm doing the same job as someone in Colombia, but the guy in Colombia gets more, I'm paid little. Bitcoin becomes a standard. The sats are the same. Sats here are still sats in that different place. You're able to now talk about that and able to argue for your own weight and value. So what type of jobs? I asked you guys if you have YouTube, right? You're connected to the internet. You can create content. You can get paid for that. You can write articles. You can get paid for sats. There's a link, Bitcoiner Jobs. I think bitcoinerjobs.com. You can connect now with Bitcoin-specific companies and work with them. There are companies like Upwork. You can go browse where they look for freelancers and you can get work. Let's go to the next slide. So you now have access to the global market. You have flexibility and autonomy. You can meet with people from all over the world and you can earn and you can learn. The barrier to entry is low. For example, a company known as Sapien.ai. You can Google it and check it. They pay annotators in different cryptos. You guys now have the knowledge of wallets. You'll probably even understand how to convert that and use it on Tango, for example. Let's move on to the next slide. So, how do you get started? Check your skills, right? What are your talents? Can you build a portfolio? Again, proof of work is coming, right? You have Twitter, you have YouTube, you have Medium, you can blog, you can do a lot of things. You can create your professional online image, LinkedIn, websites, different things. The little knowledge that you have, don't despise it. You can use it and you can impact a lot of people. So network strategically. Events like these, meet other people who are in the same industry with you, grow with them, and build. The other thing is find opportunities. So there are job boards like those ones. We work remotely, remote.co, Flex Jobs, Upwork, Fiverr. Post your profile, work, and earn, right? Because the reality is you need to work, yeah, to make a living for yourself. But in the future, as AI continues, you'll not get to choose what you want to work for. So we're about to enter an age of what they call prosperity. Those who are with it will enjoy and have a lot of fun. Those who don't adapt, unfortunately, it'll be very challenging for them. The systems are changing, right? And they're changing very fast, almost every second. Next slide, please. The challenges. This is a big one. Many people, when they start working remotely, you're excited, right? You're doing multiple things at the same time. Washing my dishes, taking the call while I'm driving, things like that. You need to create a good routine for yourself. There is isolation, yeah? You'll find people stay like just glued to their screen. You need to connect to a community. I appreciate the Bitcoin community. There's Bitcoin Data, Bitcoin Devs. There are those meetups where you can at least come, share what you've learned, what you're working on, or the things that you're building. So plug into communities. The other big one is distractions. Right now, I know we all have our phones, there's Instagram. I already see people on WhatsApp, Facebook. So the question is, how will you stay focused, right? You need to stay focused. The other thing is cybersecurity. This cannot be emphasized enough, especially with whatever is happening. And this still connects even our Bitcoin. You need to secure your wallet, right? You need to secure yourself when you're working. VPNs and things like that are encouraged. And lastly, mental health. This is a big one, yeah? I don't know how many of you remember your initial journey with Bitcoin. The obsession with the graphs, it's always going up. Like, oh my gosh, wow. Then it goes down. So depending on the amounts you have there, your mental state might not be okay. So solutions, create routines, proactively connect with people within your industry, people even without your industry. Minimize distractions, of course, strong passwords, VPNs, and definitely, please, people, take breaks. Even when you're stacking sats, use them, right? There is no value if it's just there. You do not want to become like a dragon. You're just hoarding. If anyone touches your gold, that's when you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, that type of thing. So it's supposed to be like what we're learning about circular economies working for us and making our lives better. Next slide. So the future is now. You can literally work from anywhere. You can connect with anyone. You can do literally almost everything. So the question is, the point is, don't bury your talent. Each of us has something we can contribute with and something that we can do to make us grow and to empower others. The last slide. So take action today. It'll challenge you. Go to that Bitcoiners job board. See what type of things people are building in the Bitcoin industry. Right now, I know there's huge demand for mining experts, guys who can program on Kotlin, people who can help lightning education, right? In terms of now businesses accepting Bitcoin, and how can we make it now from the individual to corporates and things like that. So start small, learn, connect, research, and believe. right? You can do this. So, last slide. Thank you. Let's connect and build the future of work. Before I leave, I want to finish with a story. One of my remote work experiences. So I told you I manage people from different places. I had a chance to go and set up an office in Mombasa. And one of the things you know with Mombasa, it's very hot. So guys, when you enter a Zoom call, even if it's hot or a remote call, don't come without a shirt on. It will scare us, because you'll be like, okay, is this person okay? Are they normal? Those types of things. So basic etiquette online is good. Have your cameras on, be professional, be active, and enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you,
My name is Sam Blazia, and I'm the co-founder of Bitcoin Kaka. Just like the name suggests, Bitcoin Kaka, tunaangalia maslahi ya wana male, si ndio? So wanaume, after this, if you'd like to be part of the Bitcoin Kaka, come and see us, and we have something good for you. Otherwise, I want to tell you that you're in a good place, and what I just want you to know is that everything you've been told here, every word that has been spoken here, is that Bitcoin is just freedom. So, can you tell your neighbor Bitcoin is freedom? Lakini ujue venye utaispend. Thank you.
I appreciate that, Bitcoin Kaka. Thank you so much. Also with them, and then they're going to be back here on stage. Then you can take photos with them. It's okay?
Okay, hi everyone. So these guys that you're seeing here, these are product of 18 sessions, weekly assignments that they had to submit without failure, and a final exam. So when you see them, it is like a commitment that you guys had to do, like 2 hours. That is 4 hours a week, right? And that is not to mention the assignment. And I heard from your academic manager that some of you are parents, some of you are running so many things. And Viola said that nowadays relationships are so hard. Some of you are maybe in very hard relationships and you managed to join the classes. That's quite encouraging. So congratulations to you all. So we actually have a surprise, surprise gift for the top students. Yeah. So you remember? Yes. Please clap for them. So now this student is actually as good as you. I don't know if he's doing a master's or whatever. But funny enough, you see, you submit an assignment, like you open an assignment in a span of like 30 minutes. He was always the first to submit an assignment. ChatGPT or not, doesn't matter. The fact that he even took the initiative. Because we had we were 95 of us and only 36 of them are graduating. So it doesn't matter, ChatGPT or not. I think life is the real ChatGPT. You cannot have life. It will get you when you least expect it. So that's it. I think I'm going to congratulate him first and then you can go on. So Victor Kido was the top student. The programs manager, you know how hard she is on you guys and telling you that in life you have to earn anything. So Sylvia, please come and award the hardware wallet. Thank you. Now you are just as competent and just as capable as anyone else going to apply for the job, okay? Yeah. So actually we have a job in the Africa Bitcoiners. Please go and check their page.
Do not let this be the last leg of your Thank you, darling. I'm gonna leave you with this. The system is already built against us and it's already working against us. Allow yourself to be kind to each other, okay? Thank you so much.
Haya. You're good? Mmefurahi? Mko sawa? Food iko mko sawa. So what I'm saying, I really appreciate everybody who are this patient until the end of the event. Congratulations to the graduates, all the graduates actually. That's a very good thing you've done, going through all the classes and all that. Really appreciate. To the audience, I really appreciate if you, I'm sure you've learned a few things about Bitcoin. If you are more interested to go even deeper, you can join any of the 3 education programs that have been here. You've seen the graduations happen for you to learn more. If you've not interacted with any of the projects at the mezzanine floor, ensure that you do. At least have Tando, have Blink, have Beach Circle, engage with other community building projects, and that's how you get to start interacting with the network. Look at what they're talking about, doing their social programs, learn anything that you can, and trust me, the Bitcoin might just be your hope that you're looking for better ones, all right? But I want to thank everybody for the wonderful time that we've had with you. We are looking forward to Bitcoin Unconference 3.0 come December. Thank you, guys.